Good evening. Welcome to our C-sharp programming for beginner. My name is Dr. Lasisi Ismail. So today, we'll be looking at what are the basic components, the basic constructs in C-sharp programming. But before we start this class, so there are basic things that we need to know. C# is a general purpose modern programming language supported by .NET framework, and it is designed by Microsoft technology. So to learn C#, so the prerequisite for this programming language is C and C++. So if you do have a strong background on C or C++ programming, then C# will be a fun to learn. So before we delve into the C# component, so the fundamental thing to know is the IDE, the Integrated Development Environment. So to write a program, so we need an environment where the program will be compiled and run. So since C# is supported by Microsoft, so we can download the Visual C# Express from Microsoft.com. So, and as we can see, so this is how the environment, the Visual Studio look like. So we have the Ultimate 2012, but in your own version, so you can get 2025 or 2024 Visual Studio. So here we can see, from here we have the menu bar where we can create a file, we can open a project, we can create a new project, so, and we can open recent projects. So having said that, so in programming, so the basic this basic program, or let me say the common program for a beginner, is to build a console application. So to build a console application, so we need this environment. First, we need to create a project, name our project console application, and this environment will be opened. So the environment that will be opened by default is the using system. So using system is a keyword. So the using system is the same thing as include in C++. Include the system namespace. So include the package, the libraries. So and other namespace like the system.collections.generic, system.test, system.trading.task, and others that will be added later on. But by default, so the Visual Studio, the IDE, so will provide these libraries, and also the name of the application that you created, the console application 3, so, and also the class, so followed by the main method and the light. So now, so having this, so the using keyword is a reserved word, and we use this to import the system namespace. So we use it to import the libraries such as the console. Console reside inside is part of the libraries that are included. So console is a class, and the method a write line is a method that reside inside this class. So without using this keyword, this statement, using system, so then it means that we cannot use a console, we cannot use ordinary console.writeLine method. So now looking at this, I made a comment on the using system. So in order to use a fully qualified name, so this is a fully qualified name, system.console.writeLine. So if I did not use this a fully qualified name, then this little program will return an error. So it will return an error. So then again, a namespace is used to organize our program. We use it to collect our classes, so the enums, the delegate, and the light. Then this is the name of our class program, and this is the main method. So main method is where executions of programs begins from. So you should know that a static void main followed by this argument, so is a must for a program. Is a program must have, or an application must have, one main method. So console.writeLine bracket open. So these are the values that are passed. So we have hello world. So these are tests. Anywhere you have a test, that test has to be enclosed with a double quotation. So then this is console.writeLine. WriteLine method simply means so we are sending out a hello message to the dash screen. So the essence of the readLine method is to hold on this console so that the viewer can see the message displayed. So C# is a programming language that is supported by Microsoft.NET platform. So it has a similarity with other languages like C++, Java, JavaScript, and the like. So C# is a compiled language. So it is a compiled language. So that is a program, your code that first build before it is get run. So it has to compile the program, it has to build it, you have to build the program first. Then it is an object-oriented programming language, and C# is a foundation language for many different Microsoft platform technologies. So the memory management is automatic in C#. So it is a managed code. So in learning C#, so the first thing we also need to consider are the variable declaration. So how do we declare a variable? A variable is a placeholder. So it is a piece of memory that stores a values that can be changed. So first, a variable has to be declared first before you can use that variable, before you can call that variable, before you can invoke that variables. So we have different variable types in C#. Just let me measure some of the few. So we have the integer, which is a 4-byte. We have a string, which is 2-byte. We have double, which is 8-byte. We have character, which is 2-byte. And we have the boolean, which is 1 byte. And so on. We have long, we have floating, the floating point, and the light. So these variable types, or let me call it the number types of the numeric numbers, are divided into two groups. So we have the integer types and we have the floating point types. So the integer types are supported by the int and long. Int is a 4-byte and long is 8-byte. Whereas the floating point type is supported by the float type and the double type. The float is 4 bytes and the double is is 8 bytes. Now let's look at this illustration. So the integer data type stores the int data type, or the integer data type can store numeric value. It can store an whole numbers ranging from this value. So for example, we can say int is my variable type, and my variable name is my num, equal to, we assign this variable value to this variable name. My variable value is 200,000. Then also we have the long data type. Long is also a type that has a size of 8 bytes. So this long can store an whole numbers, is of integer type, ranging from this magnitude to this magnitude. So for long data type, so it is always good to end the value of long data type with L. So with L, so we can see as in the example, long my num equals to this value, variable value, then L at the back, then terminate that statement with a semicolon. Then a floating point can store number with decimal, such as this example. So these are decimal number. So float and double can store fractional numbers, as earlier mentioned. So the end value of float should be F, and that of double should be D. So example, float, my number equals to 2.46F, and for double, my num is equals to 2078D. That is, we assign this variable value to this variable name of this variable type. So the precision of float is only 6 or 7 decimal digits. So it's only 6 or 7 decimal digits, while for double is 15 digits. So it is always preferable, it is even more safer to use double for most calculation rather than using a floating point. So then also for scientific numbers, a floating point number can also be used with an exponential e to indicate the powers of 10. So we can see here, so float variable value f1 equals to 45 exponential for f. So then the boolean data type is declared with the bool keyword and can only take the value true or false. So here we can see the boolean. Bool is education fund. Is it true or false? So we assign true to this variable value bool. Then also we have a character data type. A character data type is declared with the char keyword and must be surrounded by a single quote like D. Like example, D, I will quote with close this variable value. So example, so this is a variable value A enclosed with a single quote, and assign this variable value to this variable name of this variable type character. Then also we have a string data type, which is also used to store sequence of character or text. String values must be surrounded by double quotes. For example, hello world is surrounded by these double quotes, and we assign this variable value to this variable name of this variable type string. So variable declaration. First, we must declare variable before we can use that variable. So here, this is a variable declaration. We assign this variable value, or we declare this variable value age to be of type integer, and also name and address to be of type string. And we initialize this variable value to the variable name of int age of data type int, and likewise for Magosta, we assign this value to this variable name called name of type string. So then the conversion. So in conversion is basically typecasting or converting one type of data to another. So we have two types of casting. We have the implicit casting and we have explicit casting. So the implicit casting is done automatically. Example, we convert character to integer and from integer to long. That is, from low we can convert from small value to a larger value. But in the case of explicit conversion is done manually. Example of it is that we can convert a small value, a small size of data type to a very large data type. For example, here we have from a large data type to a small data type. Here, for instance, we have double. Double is 8 bytes, and the float is 4 bytes. So we are converting 8 bytes to 4 bytes. And here, we are converting 8 bytes, which is long, to 4 bytes to integer. And likewise, we are converting these 4-byte integer to 2 byte character. So for implicit conversion, we can say here, so we have int, my int is equals to 10. We assign this variable value to this variable name of type integer, and likewise this. So by default, this my int is of type integer and the variable value is 10. So we assign it to double. If we look at here, so integer is 4 bytes and double is 8 bytes, meaning that we can by default, so this will convert this 10 to double format, that is, it will be 10.0. So because we can convert from smaller value to a larger value using implicit conversion. So then the next one is the explicit conversion. So here, so this is done manually. So for instance, well, we can see this, we use a typecast. So we typecast this, my variable name, my double. That is, we want to convert this 50.99 to integer. We want to convert 8 bytes to 4 bytes. So now, so what we need to do, we need to typecast this, my double, and store it inside this variable name of this variable type. In that case, so this will now, the result of this will be 50. So also, we also have other conversion methods. So these are built-in methods that are used to convert our data types. So for instance, example of some of these built-in methods are convert is a class, and this to boolean is a method. So we convert this, we have convert to double, convert to string, convert to int 32, and convert to int 64 long. So to int 62, so this can only undo 4 bytes, and to int 64 it can only undo 8 bytes of data. So example, so int my variable name is, we assign the variable value to my int of type integer, and also we assign this variable value 5.25 to my variable name, my double to double, and also we assign this variable value true to my variable value, my bool, or variable type bool. So now we are using this conversion method, convert dot to string method. So we are converting this variable value to string format. So now the result of this will be double quotes. 10 will be inside double quote to make this a string format. Then also we are converting this to double, convert dot to double, and pass in this value my int my int. So in that, the result of this will be 10.0. Then also we are converting my double. We are converting my double to int 32. So we are converting this to int 32. And if we remember, we said int 32 can handle 4 bytes of integer. So it converts this, my double, to integer of 4 bytes, and likewise my boolean, so these. So these are the examples of the conversion method. So then user input. So for us to be able to accept information or to take information from the user, we make use of the read line method or a read key method. So these two methods accept user information. Example here is the console.readLine method. So we can see a line of statement here. So this is how to read a line of statement. So decision making. So decision making in programming is similar to decision making in real life. So in programming, a certain block of code needs to be executed when some conditions are fully met or are fulfilled. So some example of this conditional statement, we have the if statement, if else statement, if else if statement, switch statement, and the nested statement. So let me give an example of the if statement. For example, if we say that if age is greater than or equals to 18, then the student is eligible for admission. Otherwise, it is not eligible for admission. So we can also use a switch and the like. So then the other one is a loop. Loops in C#. A loop is a way to execute a statement or a set of statements multiple times. That is a repetition of statements. So we have types of loops. We have an entry controlled loops and we have an exit controlled loops. So in entry controlled loops, so the condition is checked before entering the loop body. So example we have here, so while the boolean condition, the loop statement, and you terminate this. So initialize while the condition, so print the statement. So the for loop too. In the for loop we have the initialization, the starting point, the condition, and the updates. All these are separated with a semicolon. So that is a for loop. Then also the second one is the exit controlled loop. The exit controlled loop body will be evaluated for at least one time as the testing condition is present at the end of the loop body. So it means that it's going to loop at once the condition is satisfied. So example of the exit controlled loop is the do while loop. So we can see the syntax of a do while loop. Do all these statements while the conditions is true. So then we have a jump statement. Jump statements are used to transfer control from one point to another point in the program. So we have different types of jump statements. We have a break statement, we have a continue statement, we have the go to statement, we have a return and throw exceptions. All these, so we're going to see how to practicalize these when we get to the next video, how to practice or practicalize all these illustration. So thank you. So we will stop here, and next time so we'll proceed on the next topic on the C#, which is the procedural aspect of programming. So please, if you do have any comments, never hesitate, and also please remember to subscribe to my channel and also click on the like button. So thank you for coming, and thank you.